So this Saturday, October 18th, if you haven't heard already, there is another No Kings event. Over 2,000 events across the world, okay? Now, this administration has said if you are out there protesting, that you will be considered Antifa. Antifa just means anti-fascism. You are against the idea of a fascist government running the country because we in the United States are a democracy. We are a democratic republic. We are not a fascist government. Antifa is not an entity or an LLC. It's not a group. There's no website, phone number, email, members, funding. It's a concept. It's an idea. It's an idea that you don't want a dictator running your country or a king, which is why it's called No Kings Day. We should all be anti-fascist. We should all not want a king running the United States of America. The FBI has now said that these events are officially a target. So if you don't support a fascist dictator in October of 2025 in the United States, you are considered a domestic terrorist. So if you are going out this weekend, I caution you to be safe, go with a friend, know your exit point, go out there and use your First Amendment right to peaceably assemble.
There is a second No Kings protest happening on Saturday, October 18th. The first one in June was one of the largest days of protest in US history. You can't deny that this is a huge mobilization. It's great for community building. It's a great entry-level protest. They are happening all over the country. You can find one happening near you at courage2025.org/NK2. You do not have to register. You can just show up. I know a lot of people have trepidation around the idea of registering for a protest, and I get that. You do not have to register. I'm not registering, but I will be there. After attending this protest, you are going to feel the power of collective action. You're going to feel less despair. You're going to realize the sheer magnitude of resistance. But we need people to show up in order to harness that feeling. It takes courage, but that's what we need more now than ever. I'll see you on October.
Actually, protests like No Kings are literally protected by the First Amendment. They are the foundation of our democracy.
Okay, but it's organized by Antifa. They are violent extremists.
That's false. Antifa isn't even an organization, it's an ideology.
Oh yeah guys, welcome back to the channel and I hope you are all doing good. In a stunning and deeply controversial statement, the President Trump publicly called for martial law ahead of the No Kings Day protests set to take place on October 18th. Citing vague concerns about public disorder, Trump's comments quickly veered into racially charged territory, suggesting that because Black Americans are expected to be among the demonstrators, the military must be prepared to restore order. So guys, we are just going to unpack everything, why this matters and what this says about the direction of American democracy and racial justice in 2025. So guys, let's get into this. Let's hear what the speakers are saying, then I'll be coming back with more commentaries. Stay tuned.
The Trump administration is circulating this idea that the No Kings protest is going to be a hotbed of Antifa activity.
If you have noticed, the news cycle over the last week has been even worse than before. It just seems to be escalating. And I truly believe it's partly because they're seeing how many marches are being organized all around the country and around the world on October 18th. They are lashing out in fear because they see all the opposition from people. The fact that they cannot gaslight the world into believing that Portland is a war zone on fire because there are now dancing frogs, dancing unicorns, dancing eagles outside the ICE facility. Because I'm having a good time, And even the Oregon National Guard is there to protect the peaceful protesters and not the ICE agents. Says a lot. They are lashing out because they're not getting what they want. They are terrified because there are more of us than there are of them. And more people are waking up and saying that they are against this regime. So this week, try to find something that brings you calm, recharges your energy, because we need all of our voices together on October 18th No King's Day.
No King's protest is so stupid.
Stupid how?
We don't have a king. This is just a hate America rally.
Actually, protests like No Kings are literally protected by the First Amendment. They are the foundation of our democracy.
Okay, but it's organized by Antifa. They are violent extremists.
That's false. Antifa isn't even an organization, it's an ideology. These protests are organized by nonprofit advocacy groups like Indivisible and labor unions.
Still, it's obviously going to be violent. These protests are dangerous.
Nope. The June No Kings protest had about 5 million people across 2,000 locations. They were all peaceful.
Come on, there had to be violence.
The real violence that day, Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband were assassinated in their home by someone with a hit list of Democratic officials.
Wait, what?
Meanwhile, peaceful protesters are being called terrorists.
But what are they even peacefully protesting?
It's about opposing specific policies. ICE ripping families from their homes, National Guard being sent to cities against local officials' wishes. Those are real concerns.
But this is America. We can't have fascism here.
That's exactly the point. People are speaking up to protect democracy before it's too late. That's not hating America. That's loving what America stands for.
They have already labeled you as a threat. They have already labeled you as violent, as a problem. Okay, look at what lawmakers are saying about this protest that hasn't even occurred yet. The protest isn't until Saturday, and it's across the country. Look at how many places this protest is going to occur. Over 2,500. They're expecting millions of people to turn out to this very peaceful protest, right? On the website of No King's Day, it says, please do not bring anything violent. I'm not here to debate with anyone why people are getting out on the streets on Saturday, because if you don't see why people are getting out on the streets on Saturday, you're full of shit. I'm here to help in any way that I can. That means I'm going to give you a couple of tips, okay? Number one is have an exit strategy. You don't need to be Mission Impossible on their ass. You just need to know which way the rubber pow-pows are coming from, which way the gas is flowing in from, and know how to get out of there. Bring a map with you. You should have a moving buddy. Remember in Toy Story when Woody is giving like instructions for how they're going to move and then you need a moving buddy? I need you to have one of those for Saturday. Also, tell other people that aren't at the protest where you are going to be. Watch out for people trying to cause a problem. Watch out for people trying to piss you off and get under your skin. Treat them with nothing but peace, kindness, love, and move the fuck on. If you can't move the fuck on, go the other way. I don't know what to tell you, baby. But do not engage with those type of folks because that's what they want. They want us to look crazy. Look, I'll be real with you. I can't get out there on Saturday. I have a young child that I can't take out with millions of people protesting in the streets. I would love to, but what I can do is use my platform. So I will be live for the next few nights on TikTok, and you can come in my live, tell me where you're from, and I will tell you the closest No King's Day 2.0 protest near you. Over 1 million people are going to be involved in this. If you cannot safely protest, I completely understand, but do what you can. Even if you're like, oh, Keela, I don't do politics. Baby, politics gonna do you. Do you live in this country? Okay, you need to do some politics right now. Usually I would say that's fine, honey. I don't want to talk about politics either, okay? Right now, this state of our country, yeah, I have to.
We've heard, and many of you have reported already, this Hate America rally that they have coming up for October 18th, the Antifa crowd and the pro-Hamas crowd and the Marxists, they're all going to gather on the mall. We got some House Democrats selling T-shirts for this event. It is an outrageous gathering for outrageous purposes, but the Democrats in the Senate have shown that they're afraid of that crowd, that they don't want to bow, that they want to bow to them, bow the knee to them, and they don't want to take incoming from them. And so they're willing to hold the American people hostage so that they don't have to face an angry mob that's a big chunk of their base. Now, if that's a rumor, they need to come out and clarify that it's not, but that is what we are hearing is their actual motivation, and it is outrageous.
Trumpy is going to use the Insurrection Act on No King's Day. It's the perfect day to use the Insurrection Act, to call for martial law. Everybody that's protesting this man and marching in those streets on October 18th will be seen as Antifa. I was thinking about that shit all yesterday, how close he is to getting the chance to enact the Insurrection Act. And No King's Day, which they're calling non-American Day. People protesting against America. America's supposed to be free. We're not supposed to have kings. So it's kind of counterproductive. But they're going to use that day. He's going to use that day to try to invoke the Insurrection Act. I feel like he's going to put people in places inside of those crowds to start shit and to make it turn violent and reckless. I do not put it past this man to use the day that people are marching against fascism, against authoritarianism, against a fucked up administration that doesn't give a shit about its people, against an administration that is cutting healthcare, cutting education, cutting access to anything and everything to help the American people as a way to gain full control of the United States of America. I mean, he already has everything in place. He's put all his little minions in every place in the administration to control everyone. ICE is the largest department we have now, and they're all loyal to him for a buck. I ask y'all to stay safe, and if you see somebody inciting that shit, shut them down. Don't let it get out of hand. Don't give this man nothing. He already knows he's not going to heaven. So why not set shit off before you leave?
Outrageous.
Well, in case you are not aware, there is another No Kings protest across the country planned for this upcoming Saturday, October 18th. And if you plan to be in attendance, there are a couple things you should know. Number one, the Trump administration is circulating this idea that the No Kings protest is going to be a hotbed of Antifa activity. Antifa, if you don't know, stands for anti-fascist, and the Trump administration has designated them a terrorist organization. There's only one problem with that, though. Antifa is not a group, it's not a club, it has no members or membership. It's an ideology. You know what is a group, though? The KKK, the Klan, the Proud Boys, Turning Point USA, the Groypers. They're a group. But anyway, I digress. The fact that the Trump administration is going out of their way to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization, despite not being an organization at all, should tell you that they're using it as an umbrella term to harass and detain anyone they don't agree with. And the fact that the administration, like I said before, is trying to circulate this idea that the protest is going to be a hotbed for Antifa activity should let you know exactly the kind of timing they on. So if you're going to attend, here's some things you should probably do. Number one, do not bring your phone or any electronic device that can be tracked. No iPhone, no Fitbit, no Samsung, no Android, no Pixel, no Apple Watch, nothing. You're finna be out there like it's 1995. Don't bring nothing with you. If you absolutely must have it on your person, you are going to go on Amazon.com and buy what is known as a Faraday pouch. This is going to be a bag that you can carry with you, small bag, that will block any incoming and outgoing signals from any devices placed inside of it. Makes it that much harder to track. Second thing you're going to do, right? If you're going to be out there, do not be out there plain face. No, we all have disdain for these YNs, but they had the right idea with these shiesties. You're going to get a shiesty and mask the fuck up. You feel what I'm saying to you? The name of the game here, right, is to restrict all the different ways you can be tracked simply by being present. Because trust me when I say they will be tracking you. I also saw a video from Corn Pop about 2 hours ago talking about how they're going to be at this protest across the country doing retinal scans from afar. So go ahead, throw some glasses in there also. Again, the name of the game is to restrict all the different ways you can be identified from afar simply by being present at a protest you have every right to be at. Don't give these people any ammunition to hem you up. And last but not least, if you're going to go to this protest, keep your head on a fucking swivel, all right? There's going to be agitators. This ICE is going to be present. I guarantee it. Do not tangle with these folks. Dip out at the first sign of trouble. I'm trying to tell you, because they're trying to use any and every incident that might pop off at any one of these protests across the country as justification to unleash the hounds, all right? So don't give them any reasons. Don't bring your phone. If you have to, bring a Faraday pouch, mask up, put the glasses on, and be safe. All right, take care.
Even as we continue watching, guys, we have another clip to watch, and everyone is talking about this, the No Kings Day that is set for 18th of October. On the eve of the highly anticipated No Kings Day protest set for the October 18th, the president made assumptions about that this time he is calling for martial law. So his reasoning is a presumption that Black Americans will be among the protesters. Yes, so this statement has ignited outrage, debate, and widespread concerns across the political spectrum. That is why in this video we are breaking down what Trump said, examining the context of the No Kings Day movement, and exploring the implications of invoking martial law in response to anticipated civil demonstrations. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let's get into the remaining videos. I'll be coming back with more commentaries.
I truly believe that Trump is going to use the No Kings protest this weekend to declare martial law or invoke the Insurrection Act. Here's why I think that. Earlier today, a memo was leaked, or I think intentionally leaked, that said federal agents have alerted local law enforcement that anyone attending these protests or rallies anywhere in the country are suspected to be terrorists. Anyone who does not want a dictatorial, monarch-like ruler in the United States is now suspected to be a terrorist just by showing up there. And I really think that they're going to try and start trouble. And I think they're going to try and start trouble in larger cities. One, because it's easier to infiltrate in large crowds. And two, it's what's going to get media attention. Let's be real. He runs everything like a reality show. If trouble starts in a city like Chicago or New York or Boston or LA or Portland, he's going to go, see, I told you so. And he's going to use that to invoke the Insurrection Act or martial law in that area. And it's going to spread. And this will also be the beginning of the end of the regime because people, well, any decent Republicans left, that is, will see that this is the most un-American administration, the most unconstitutional thing that could possibly be done. America was founded never to have a dictatorial monarch. That was never the intention of our founders. The intention of our uninformed and undereducated electorate, I can't speak to that because I'm not one of those. I'm one of the overeducated. And I know you're going to come in the comments at that. I don't care. But be careful this weekend.
So guys, No King's Day began as a grassroots movement to reject authoritarianism, a monarchy-style leadership, and the erosion of democratic norms in the United States. The name is symbolic, a reminder that America was founded in opposition to tyranny. This year's protests, planned across major cities like Atlanta, Chicago, and Oakland, were organized as peaceful demonstrations to reaffirm civil liberties, voting rights, and racial equity. Organizers have emphasized that the events are non-violent, community-led, and inclusive of people from all backgrounds, but that hasn't stopped political figures from casting the protests in a more sinister light. On October 15th, during a campaign rally in Florida, Trump made the remarks that if these protests get out of hand, and they will, or we may have to call in the military, especially with who we know will be out there causing the trouble. While he did not explicitly say blacks, Trump's comments were immediately criticized for dog whistle politics and racial profiling. Yes, sources close to the campaign later confirmed that he was referring to left-wing agitators and BLM types. Legal scholars and civil rights groups responded with alarm. Martial law, which allows the military to take control of civilian functions, has only been used sparingly in the United States history and always under extraordinary circumstances. We have reactions from various leaders, and there were responses that it is a dangerous escalation rooted in racial paranoia and political desperation. Civil rights attorney I think also said that presuming criminality based on race and protest is textbook authoritarianism. He said that we've seen this playbook before in the 1960s, 1990s, and again during the George Floyd's protests. Even some conservative voices have expressed concern, warning that invoking martial law over peaceful protests sets a precedent that threatens civil liberties for everyone, not just communities of color. And legally, a United States president cannot unilaterally impose martial law nationwide without triggering a constitutional crisis. The Policy Commutators Act limits the use of federal military in domestic law enforcement. Historically, martial law has been declared in times of natural disaster, insurrection, or war, not in anticipation of peaceful protests. What Trump is suggesting, many argue, is not only legally dubious, but potentially unconstitutional and reminiscent of the very kind of authoritarianism the No King's Day protests are designed to resist. The presumption that Black Americans' presence at a protest equates to violence is nothing new. It's part of a long history of criminalization, black resistance in America. From the civil rights era to Ferguson to the George Floyd uprising, The narrative has often been when black people gather to protest injustice, the state responds with riot gear, curfews, and sometimes military force. Trump's remarks once again spotlight how deeply embedded racial bias is in America's approach to protest and civil dissent. As October 18th approaches, organizers remain firm. They will not be intimidated. Legal teams are mobilized. Community safety plans are in place, and public pressure is mounting to keep the government accountable. Whether you support the protests or not, one thing is clear: the use of martial law as a political tool crosses a line. Democracy requires protest, justice requires participation, and history will remember how we respond in moments like these. Stay informed, guys, know your rights, and above all, stay vigilant. Oh guys, thank you so much for watching. Of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of the video. This video is meant for educational purposes, information purposes, and commentaries purposes as well. Thank you so much. Of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of the video. Thank you so much. Kindly give this video a thumbs up, like the video for it to get to a wider audience, and also share the video for it to get to their wider audience, and also subscribe. Hit the subscription button. Thank you so much. Be blessed and have a nice time. Peace be with you.